Welcome back, everybody. It's SinaCup action. It's prime time. We've got Tongfu versus Vici Gaming. We've cruised our way through, wiped out the week. And it's Vici Gaming, Tongfu. Loser bracket, though. These two teams both having lost yesterday. Tongfu losing to LGD, Vici Gaming losing to IG. So 4 teams remain, and it's the 4 big names. No surprises there at all.
Yeah, this is your 3rd and 4th place decider. Loser is 4th. Winner gets to fight for 3rd and maybe even 2nd.
Yep.
But we'll see. Vici Gaming going to open up the draft with Vici, one of the kind of go-to hero. We kind of briefly mentioned it before, but Vici really secures your laning, allows you to go offensive tri-lane, but more importantly, discourages their offensive tri-lane as well. So basically, you get to kind of pan out how the drafting and more importantly, the laning stage goes.
I think that's really the most important thing that I'm sort of getting from the drafts the last couple of days in most of these tournaments is that the key thing to prioritize is strong support heroes. Visage, Rubik, these heroes are top picks. They're winning games, and teams, as soon as they have a weak supports that can't really roam or don't win or can't zone out the offlaner, those teams lose.
Yeah, and also it's actually important to point out something similar to Chen, which never traditionally is thought as a weak support, but against certain teams, it really allows certain heroes to be played. For example, Timbersaw can't really do it against a more traditional like 3-stun tri-lane, but will easily do it against Chen because you only have 1 or 2 hero harassing. ROTK's Elder Titan now is a great possibility now because last time they ran against the Chen as well, so we'll look to ROTK and see what he likes to pick up for himself.
Yeah, and it's not something that I think will make it to the end of the draft, but 3rd or 4th pick could slip through unless Tongfu want to abandon it themselves. Nagasara not seeing a pick or play here. This is another, I guess, one of those sort of. He's not quite the same control of a Rubik or a Visage being a melee support, but he's definitely up there getting picked a lot. But Tongfu haven't gone for him right away, and I think the key thing that you maybe want to do if you're
there you go.
Elder Titan ban.
Yeah.
Okay. So we don't even need a theory craft. What do you do against Elder Titan? But Tongfu have a lot of heals coming out from the Chen. They want to maybe go for at least have the ability to push down towers with their draft, and that's where Vici Gaming don't mind giving away the Chen because Lifesteal is banned out, which is kind of like one of the best heroes to have when you have a Chen on your team.
Yeah, I think if Tongfu's looking for a push, is more or less coming from a split push. Weaver, not exactly a good addition to your pushing squad, aside from, I guess, a Ring of Basilius or something like that. Aside from that, Weaver might be looking to pressure a tier 1 tower on the other side of the map or something. And we'll see. Tongfu might be looking to draft something like a Dragon Knight, though.
Yeah, Dragon Knight has had decent success, I'd say, throughout this tournament. Well, Mineski being the main team who've sort of highlighted him, winning one of their first opening game before falling to Tongfu. As we'll see the next couple of bans come out. ROTK, though, it's not just the Elder Titan for him. Maybe we see even a Timbersaw banned out, which he can definitely play in the offlane. And that's a hero which, similar to Elder Titan, Chen not going to do a whole lot to able to zone out of the lane. Elder Titan against a dual lane, as far as the majority of the laning stage, he does just fine.
Yeah, I feel like it really, when you pick a jungler, it really opens up your offlane. At the same time, Chen, in the past, maybe a year ago, we saw a very common wraparound gank with a smoke. You wait for them behind the tier 1, tier 2 tower. The guys push on the front, and then you kind of pincer him in tower and get a kill.
Yep.
That's definitely a possibility as well. We just haven't really seen it lately. And looks like Alchemist is being banned out. It would surprise me if Tongfu doesn't ban out yet another very strong offlaner.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. As it's either if they're not doing that, they're banning out some of the solo mids, which Super might be playing. But I feel like there's just too many, and there's so much versatility there that you can't really. And I don't think there's any one solo mid which is a big threat. There's the Puck, which I guess is fairly good against Weaver because of the blink silence, but there's plenty of alternatives. If you want silence, you can go for something like a Storm Strip with an Orchid, but they will ban it out anyway. So it does leave Timbersaw in the pool, and that to me is a big standout hero, which Vici Gaming will quite likely be looking to pick up for ROTK.
I mean, if Tongfu doesn't pick it up from themselves right now, the other thing that we really haven't talked about is, again, Vici Gaming could pick up, for example, Lone Druid, put 2-2 on the offensive or suicide lane, and then have ROTK play carry. It's not definitely something that he can do. Both these teams have fallen victims to Spirit Breakers, I believe. Although ROTK last game was not a victim to Spirit Breaker in any sense of the word. No, it's going to be Dragon Knight for Tongfu. And this is going to be an auto, I want to say, Timbersaw pickup. Because good against DK in the mid lane. Or if he doesn't want to play mid, good on the suicide lane because of the jungle support Chen.
Yeah, generally they would play it in the mid lane, but it's good against DK come mid game anyways. Being just a melee tanky strength hero, you can bring him down with the Whirling Death, make him a lot squishier. So I think Timbersaw is fantastic here for Vici Gaming. Otherwise, you maybe look at the ROTK Clockwork, but I feel like that's just not quite as strong in this particular game.
Yeah, so we're kind of talking about some of the other crazy heroes. Who was the team that picked Troll Warlord?
I was just thinking about Troll Warlord because I want to see him solo mid again.
Yeah.
That was against the Super Templar Assassin? Or am I thinking of a different
I think they
game?
ran the actually offensive trialing with it.
Okay. No, I saw that was MLG where it was Fogged playing TA mid,
Okay.
or Infinity playing TA mid and losing to a Troll Warlord because Troll Warlord
Whoa.
mid is just Troll's ridiculous. Blind, you just spam it. It costs 50 mana.
Well, you got a Bottle Crow, which I guess
You kind of do.
Yeah, you kind
I
of.
mean, you have to go bottle, but I don't know if you have to bottle core. If you get a, if your support
get a
can
rune,
help you get
yeah.
a rune. Yeah.
I think what we saw was LGD's Troll Warlord, and they went against like a Venomancer of some sort. Remember, they were trying to dive him, and he would have like Stout Shield, go melee form, and just Whirling Axe, and the gank was done. But well, a little bit different from a Troll. It's gonna be a Spectre instead.
Well, they could pretty much guarantee his farm with these two strong support pickups, and whether they're against the an offlane Weaver or some other offlaner that Tongfu grab, I don't think it's going to be a big problem for them. And this is where, for your Tongfu, maybe you consider putting Weaver safe lane just because you can't go offlane against his Trilane, and then instead of getting offlaner, you get some straight up jungler. Because I don't think anyone can really go and contest or be that annoying unless they have a Nature's Prophet just blocking pulls with Treants.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. This is an option. So I think we look towards a safe lane Weaver and Prophet either going straight jungle or at least off lane to start off with and just being as annoying as possible.
Yeah, I think Tongfu could get really greedy as well with Weaver farm. Basically, just have two junglers. Chen is going to be jungling on his couple of spots, and then you have another support that could be prioritizing a little bit on pool as well. It really depends on what Vici Gaming is going to lane up. Because, I mean, seeing this, there's a Timbersaw, no surprise there. Seeing this, Vici Gaming could just say, alright, let's have our Spectre 1v1 against your Nature Prophet.
Yep.
Spectre will do fine there. Pull her a Poor Manager or something. And then you just go offensive trialing against sort of a very, very weak top lane. So, I don't think Vici Gaming will end up doing that, but that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, I think Spectre just... even with the Poor Man Shield regen pull, he wouldn't farm well enough. You'd much rather have the perfect free farm, and then the supports can also are also getting farm and level with a safe lane tri lane. But the thing I like that now that we're approaching the end of the SinaCup is I actually feel like we have a better understanding of what the teams are doing and what they're going to be picking. The first day or two, I was just like, I don't know.
Here's some heroes.
Yeah, Nagasar and Weaver. Okay, cool. These are good heroes. That's why they picked them. But now it's like, well, we can. There's more trends coming out. We see Vici Gaming going straight for the Visage Rubik multiple games in a row. Tongfu, this isn't the first time they picked the DK for Mu in the mid lane. And it's sort of, I guess, the scene is starting to stabilize, and we'll see just trends in a new sort of Chinese metagame come from this, which is a lot more aggressive than the teams used to play.
Yeah. For me, it's been very interesting hero interactions. For example, Weaver on one side, Rubik immediately answered on the other. And, of course, Batrider never, in any of these games, I think we saw like one bad game given away to,
yeah.
I forgot which one team. But that team actually lost with the Batrider, I believe.
There was a team who got Wisp and Batrider and completely wrecked, remember?
No, I think that's MLG.
Okay.
I heard you guys are talking about it. You casted so many games yesterday that
look, they all blur together, Lumi.
Yeah, they kind of do.
It's a curse.
Ooh, Magnus being banned now, which is actually a pretty smart ban because this is what we've seen from LGD China quite a bit. They just put Empower on Spectre, and she just mid-game goes crazy in farming.
Does fine mid against the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, does quite well against Dragon Knight. In fact, I mean, look at what Tongfu wants to do. They want to push, they want to split push, and having an AoE Shockwave to defend against that is pretty good. A Blink Dagger RP is pretty excellent as well. I think what Vici Gaming want to pick up is a solo mid that, unless that's Timbersaw already, a solo mid / off lane that could give you good enough AoE to defend a push, and maybe have enough ganking power to pick off Nature's Prophet or Weaver. And I think if you want to look towards a gank, a Storm Spirit would be excellent. But if you want to look for an anti-push,
bring back Brewmaster.
Brewmaster.
I don't know if this is right. It's necessarily good. Beastmaster's not going to be too bad.
Beastmaster is actually pretty good here. Too,
Get the Aura for the attack speed will help out Spectre. Well, just the whole team in general quite a bit. It also is a natural mech buy if they want to get it, because the two supports are not going to be able to get a fast mech. So if they want to have a fast mech for just to fight Tongfu, if Tongfu are going for early towers, Rubik Visage aren't going to have it. So you need a solo mid you can get, which is Beastmaster. Just go Arcane Mech.
That's definitely a build, yeah.
Alternatively, yeah, like you say, you go for the Storm Spirit. I feel if Storm Spirit gets ganked once or twice, it's not going to be a hero that can come back at all.
Yeah, I mean, but looking at the same time, I guess Chang could be your ganker depending on what your last support pickup is. For example, if they go something like Jakiro here for Tongfu, then it's not too good as a ganking squad.
Yeah. Tongfu was thinking through this last pick a lot. I feel like they're just choosing between support heroes. Like, do we go CM? Do we go Jakiro? We go Venomancer, they go Leshrac.
Another insane pushing.
Radiant's
Yeah, and
team pick.
This reminds me of like EG drafts almost, where they would go there, Chen, Leshrac, DK, and just take all these outer towers really fast.
This reminds me of, well, I was going to say LGD International, but they definitely run a little bit more stronger ganking support than a Leshrac, but it's a similar vein in terms of basically you just want to gank, get a tower push or two, and then go back, rinse and repeat. Now, against a Spectre, which you have sort of a ticking time bomb on your head, if you will. If Spectre ever gets any farm, and she finds like a double kill with a haunt, then suddenly the game gets really hard.
Yep, so the last hero will be for Super in the mid lane. I don't think you can go Storm through here. I just think it's too weak
I still don't know
against a
whether
5-man lineup.
I still don't know whether this is a Timbersaw mid or not, because one thing that we haven't really talked about is how good Chakram is
It is
defending.
a Timbersaw mid.
Yeah, I mean, if you Chakram the creep wave, they chase after you.
Yep.
You pull it off the tower, and there goes your push. Well, maybe not, because now you have Chen creeps, and then Treant, and then Edic
The
on
DK,
top.
yeah. There's still plenty of damage to bring down a tower without the Treant, without the creeps wave support. But this is, I guess, a more sort of ganking-oriented lineup coming up from Vici Gaming, single target focus, and we're going to see how they look to do things here. It is Vici Gaming. This is your loser bracket round 3. This is a basically fourth place decider. Loser of this gets fourth place. Winner goes on to play in the third place decider. Vici Gaming going to have Super playing the Timbersaw at mid lane. ROTK on the Bounty Hunter with a Boots first build. Fenrir on Visage. FY on Rubik. They did a little coin flip and decided who was playing it. And once again, it's FY on Rubik. So
generally, Fenrir plays a more difficult hero, I guess, if you want to call it. I guess maybe Visage a little bit more micro-intensive.
And Tutu on the Spectre with a Quelling Blade, in fact.
Yeah. I think he's really confident that they're going to be securing free farm. Again, you generally don't want to go offensive trialing against a Visage, so he's very sure that that's not going to happen. Brave Chill to make sure that this is going to be dead. So Nature Prophet most likely is going to start on the off lane by XTT. We're going to see Zoe playing solo mid here on the Weaver, something a little bit different. He's going to be going up against Timbersaw, which, if you think about it, Dragonite is going to get shredded apart by Timbersaw's Whirling Death. So Moo's going to be playing the Dragonite up on top. We have ZSMJ playing the Chen, and last but not least, Shansheng. I really like the fact that it's Zoe mid and then Moo top, because if they, for example, had Zoe top on Dragonite and Moo mid, they kind of could figure it out, the roost. Now I think right now Vici Gaming is expecting Zoe on the safe lane and then Moo mid Dragonite. Just
this is better for killing Bounty Hunter as well.
Yeah,
if you get it, if he goes up any last hit to DK Sun, Leshrac Suns from Fog, very likely could be a kill.
Well, XTT is going to be doing this, blocking off camps, just being overall very annoying. Or maybe he's actually going to go for a pull. If he successfully gets off this particular pull back to his tower, that will give him a ton of experience.
Doesn't look like he will. Spectre even using mana to try and prevent this as they bring down one Treant, but there's more Treants already being summoned.
Yes,
Well played.
And the other Treant, it should be blocking off one of these camps. Or is it though? No, it looks like the last hit is going to go there. But the equilibrium is perhaps a little bit messed up already. And messed up enough such that the next wave is going to get pushed out. Tutu is going to get blasted under the tower because he's Tutu and he's like
he wants to keep this other Treant alive for another 15 seconds because he summoned these such that they could block it at 1 minute, but I don't think it's going to survive. So
yeah, now with a great shot on top. So very good control here of the jungle by Vici Gaming support. No, as I say that, another wild Treant has appeared. And this one definitely is going to get the block off.
That was extra. That was mana he didn't want to use because that can't block the 2-minute one now. Normally those first Treants you can block it 30 seconds and then 1 minute. You don't have to summon until after 1 minute, so you block the 2 minutes. So he used that early, and now he's well out of mana. One clarity gets blocked. He's going to have to use another one in just a second if he wants. I don't think he's blocking the 2-minute spawn here.
Yep. At the same time, we see that ROTK is going to turn level 2 at the top lane as well. Again, the weak jungle support of Chen not really being able to harass them away. There is Sentry Ward available, I believe. Yes, there's one on Leshrac. They drop one in the lane as well. And it looks like nice pulling here by ROTK. At the very least, going to deny this one particular melee creep.
Yep. Well, the pings coming out from Fenrir. They want to use this pull as soon as they can. As Nature's Prophet actually going to get the Treants now. So 20 seconds to get them to that pull camp, and the great race is on.
Well, I mean, does Vici Gaming actually care? Can they just dive XTT under the tower?
XCT's getting experience though.
I mean, you could just Stifling Dagger or the Spectral Dagger, Rave Chill, just follow up, lift and kill, right?
It's level 1. There's no soul assumption.
They need level 2 on these supports, and they will get it very soon.
Well, looking at the middle lane, we have got Weaver 6-4 to the 7-8-0 of Timbersaw. So Weaver with a couple more denies, but not winning the lane or actually farming all that well as of yet. Bounty Hunter still alive this top lane, which is good news considering there was sentries as well as dust on Leshrac. Leshrac had a ton of detection to try and zone Bounty Hunter out, and there's been no real actual zoning out going on.
Yeah, he's gonna find himself a ton of farm under this particular tower. That's gonna hit himself up to level 3 and perhaps even 4. FY, by the way, got himself in Vizrun, and they're thinking about killing XTT. XTT, waiting for the push coming, continue to methodically block those camps, but here comes the kill. I imagine first blood's gonna happen on the bot lane.
Hey, can he just straight up TP out? If they lead with their telekinesis, he can just TP home.
Well, they will probably lead with the Spectral Dagger and Grave Choke.
Yeah.
But he kind of realized that FY's been missing for quite a bit, so...
He also needs... He may as well just walk to Fountain, because he's got no mana. I guess he wants the experience at his tower, if
But he's
possible.
not getting it. He's too afraid.
Yeah, if you're not getting it, you may as well go home. Get mana, and then you can teleport in with more treants, and use the treants to maybe scout.
XTT now to the right side. They really want to stagger on him, such that you know exactly where he's juking to or running towards to, but it's not really working out for Vici Gaming. They're tanking a ton of tower. And the fact that they're playing so aggressive perhaps is giving it away the fact that they want the kill. Yeah, you still haven't seen FY for like the past minute now.
Yeah, he's probably reported that to Zhou, so that Zhou plays a bit cautiously at mid, although Zhou is a level 4 Timbersaw, unable to kill him even with a Rubik Telekinesis. And XTT, he walks a bit further down, and he feels safe enough, maybe. At this point, the lane's pushed out. Yeah, he's TPing home. This is a smart decision. Picks up a Bassering, and I think just goes straight jungle even from here. I think you want to go
he's
summon treants. He's sending them bottom. He's blocked the pool camp every single minute until now. He's not going to block the 4-minute one, but he's done a great job of... Look, as a result, Rubik's is level 2. Visage is level 3 just from the lane XP, but they're going to smoke up and try and bring down Zhou. And oh no, they're going bottom.
Yeah, they want XCT.
I don't think... They should know that there's a good chance XCT goes jungle right now, so they could be wasting their time, but it looks like they may just strike gold.
Yeah, they guessed it right. Perhaps XCT want to get the experience under the tower. This has been a very, very tame first 4 minutes of the game here. And I think tame game like this really, really favors the Radiant side, who just wants these early game levels. They want your 2 supports to hit 6. You want Timbersaw to hit 6. You want RTK to get 6 as well. So I think it's definitely favoring them. But the kill is going to happen right on the top bot lane. I think the lift could come out right now. Yeah, there's not enough time for him to survive that one. And Choo-Choo's going to grab himself a first blood.
I'm surprised he's still going bottom. I mean, I guess I understand he really wants to disrupt the Spectre's farm, but I see that smoke from Vici Gaming towards bottom. I'm thinking, I don't know why... Like, at this point, normally Profit's either, doing this TP top to push, or go into the jungle and farm. Going back bottom was just the suboptimal play, so I think Vici Gaming kind of lucked out there that Profit made a mistake.
That's a fair thing to point out. Timbersaw, by the way, back in the middle here, got Whirling Death being maxed out. Once he gets Chakram, he can make that rotation up top and defend the tier 2 tower, but until then, ROTK just basically sacking this tower for a little bit more experience in gold.
Yep. Yeah, I'm going to see Super just keep throwing these Whirling Deaths on Zhou at the middle lane and cause some problems here, but this is not just a tier 1, it's tier 2 as well being pushed out. Mu, as a result of not being a solo hero, isn't level 6 yet, so we're not seeing that pushing Elder Dragon form just up, but even without it, they have got a decent amount of pushing power. ROTK trying to just get creeps off the tower, but...
Tongfu's got to be very careful. Spectre, by the way... But Spectre, once he hits Haunt, he could Haunt and basically kill Shanshou. Like,
I think this tower's dead though. There's level 2 Edict. No glyph. And tower go down. There's no Timbersaw rotation, even though he just hit level 6. So tower goes down. Dire actually gets it, so no one getting the bonus gold. And Vici Gaming, they haven't done the similar thing at bottom lane, which is push down a fast tier 1 tower of their own. So
yeah, if you look at the gold graph here, about 2,000 gold league just from those 2 towers. Choo-Choo unable to hit 6 to pick off a Leshrac that's... Oh, actually, somebody's really lagging by. It's Mu, and Super's going to find him right now. Chakram for the slow. They will have... No, there's no Timber Chain. So that's somewhat unfortunate. Timbersaw just have to back off.
Yeah, this is like your solo mid-ish Timbersaw build, but as far as this early game, there's been 1 kill for Vici Gaming in the first blood, 2 towers for Tongfu. To me, it looks very even. Do you feel differently?
I guess the early game goal would give like Rebel Zhou as well as the Dragon Eye and Prophet Midas. Like it helps out those things, but it isn't really enough lead to really say anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, personally, maybe I would just say Vici Gaming, as far as all their lanes concerned, are doing a bit better because Bounty Hunter got everything he needed at top. Timbersaw's got everything he needed at bottom. The tri-lanes worked out. For Tongfu, there's one lane you can say didn't go as well as you'd hope, which is the Nature's Prophet lane, giving away the kill, and also just not really getting any sort of a Midas farm for himself in the jungle.
Yeah, Nature's Prophet TP'd himself to a set of trees and trapped himself there. But if he used Nature's Call to break himself out, he's dying. But I guess he just wants experience here.
Yep. He does have does have TP mana now after using some treats if he wants to sort of break through, but like you say, just hiding in these trees.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what he's expecting to do. TP's going to be down for another 24 seconds. I guess he's getting experience, so...
Yeah. The other big thing to note for Tongfu is they have got Chen farming around the jungle, looking to go straight for the mech. He's level 6, so Hand of God is there for Tongfu should they need it. And also, this is just a lot of pushing power that'll be coming out from ZSMJ on that Chen, especially once he has a mech.
Yep, Super finds himself Arcane Boots. I imagine he should take up Timber Chain at level 7. I'll surprise me greatly if he doesn't, because he's going to be missing kills if he keeps on doing this.
Yep. Well,
No, he gets max Rolling Death. Alright.
he'll be level 8. That I guarantee you.
He will be.
You don't normally go for more than the second point in reactive armor until you've maxed all your other spells. Unless you're against like a ton of chipping, harass, and physical damage, which isn't the case so much. I mean, treants are there, but that's not really harass.
Ooh. ROTK gonna pick up the haste room right now. He's gonna get tracked up on Joe.
Spectre
Khan's gonna
ultimate.
come in as well. They really want to kill. That's
Ambitious.
and aggressive and a waste.
Yeah, that was a... Spectre had a free farm lane bottom. Immediate proper TP. And
And then
Spectre
TP's
TP's back bottom.
So he basically wasted like 400 mana and 135 gold on that
Yep.
trip. Not worth.
Not getting that value.
Not getting. That's the opposite of that.
They weren't even close to getting the Weaver as well, which is the big thing there.
Well,
They got the track up and thought maybe they could. Joe was getting harassed. He's just,
time lapse.
yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
time lapse. You get rid of the track as well, so
Yeah.
combine that as well as the harass. No problem.
It feels like Vici Gaming have difficulty kind of getting kills, which they're actually completely fine with because they have the Spectre on their side.
Yeah.
Spectre's got Phase Boot and Bracer for quite a bit of time now. And
Absolutely.
delivering himself drums. He's got to finish drums.
I think that's a big thing where they just need to not feel under pressure to get kills. Even with a bounty hunter lineup, you don't have to get these kills. ROTK can keep doing this. He's not actually getting kills. He's just zoning Zhou out of the lane, which is fine. You're creating space for Spectre. The big sort of, I guess, deciding point of this game is going to come maybe in 5-10 minutes time where Tongfu decide, we've got mech, we've got DK ultimate, Prophet maybe is just Midas Treads, you've got Leshrac Edict, let's start pushing down towers one by one.
And how many will they
And
push?
how do Vici Gaming deal with that, or do they just go for trades?
I think they definitely can go for trades, or go for random pickoffs, or just have Chakram to slow it down. Meanwhile, you see RTK ending main jungle, not doing too much in terms of getting kills, but definitely tracking out multiple targets. Shansheng, for example, is tracked up here.
Yep.
I really like the fact that he's gone for a bottle build for this particular playstyle. If you just want to kind of be annoying and track people in the enemy jungle, this is the build that you go for.
I remember we were talking about the Sanjin Yasha DK build. It was Tongfu's Hao who used to do it when he played a safe lane farming DK. And this is a safe lane farming DK in a push strat. I remember Tongfu that do the Chen DK draft and Hao would go treads, drums, Sanjin Yasha. And this is maybe exactly what we see out of move. Maybe not going to... I think he's actually completed his drums. He spent some gold. Nope, he's going BKB.
Okay.
Or he's going Sanjin Yasha. Ogre Club goes into Sanjin Yasha.
It does.
Do you need
although
BKB? They kind of do. Rubik, Visage.
Timbersaw.
I want to see Sanjin Yasha. I believe in this build on DK.
As much as like that build, I don't think this is for this game. Yeah. Moo's going to be just pushing
Yep.
and farming slowly. Again, there's just no response
These-
for either team. Just no rush 15.
Wow.
Both teams
This
said.
is Tongfu's first move of the game, it feels like. They've got Chen, 3 creeps with Leshrac, heading towards the bottom lane. They're even going to smoke up. So this is, I guess, the first play. They'll look for towers. I mean, taking the 2 top towers was kind of a move, but that was there was no response to it, nor was there ever really going to be.
Well, Tongfu supports standing up in front of a Sentry Ward that they place. Or is that Radiant Sentry
Yeah,
Ward?
Radiant team plays.
The
I
Radiant team.
don't know if they actually got vision of the smoked up heroes, though, because there wasn't any actual vision around the Sentry Ward.
Well, 2-2's playing very, very safe.
Yep.
That's a couple
Proper
of TPs.
TP. 2-2 does have the Haunt to get out of there, so he can go to mid lane where there's a Weaver. So he can survive this if he doesn't get chain stun. Treant's going to just scout him out. Really nice micro from Prophet. Nope,
What?
doesn't see him. I mean, he had good intentions, I would say.
Yeah, yeah. But they're
I
going to get a
still
tier
like
1
that.
tower.
Yeah.
There's no trade cipher anywhere. Vici Gaming's not looking to
Spectral
push.
Dagger out. I think he may have got spotted by the Tornado.
Yeah. I mean, for the last minute, Vici Gaming hasn't done a single thing in terms of farm or anything. I think that's,
Bounty's been annoying.
but that's not really productive in
Yeah.
terms of getting level off farm. Yeah, I think Vici Gaming has really fallen behind in the
Yeah.
last couple of minutes, and you can see the goal graph is now a 5,000 goal lead.
Yeah, Tongfu, this is 1 kill in 11, 12 minutes, much more slow. This is kind of what we expected in a best of 1 between these two teams fighting for a spot in the top 3 of the SinaCup. And Moo, oh, this is the play. He's gone in. He's found a Sun Super. Chain Stun will be there with a Leshrac. They needed the telekinesis to Sun Sansheng. It's not going to come. The Timber
Oh,
Chain.
misses! That's going to be a kill.
Yeah.
Rare mistake here by...
I think even
Super.
should that Timber Chain land, it would be a kill regardless. It was just level 1, so it was
Wow.
never going to go far.
A buyback comes in right now. Sentry and as well as dust being dropped down for
They'll
RTK.
bring down chain creeps here. Bit of a missed micro from ZSMJ, leaving them a bit too long there, but even so, a cheap buyback. That buyback at this point in the game only cost him 400 gold. So if they can stop the push, it's denying your opponent's gold and momentum. So I think it could be worth it. It's
ROTK coming from the back line, trying to get a couple track, but he's basically surrounded by Sentry Ward, but still doing a very good job dodging the spot. Hannah guy comes out right now, tier 2 tower, gonna get Steve down. And let's see how much ROTK could do. He
needs to not get grave chilled or anything here.
Grave chill or ensnared or anything. They have another dust available.
Yep. He's made his way out of there as fast as possible. So smart play from ROTK. Sort of flirting the lines of danger there. Gets one track off before realizing he needs to just
And here comes the tier 2.
Be a bit more careful.
Tier 2 siege. Oh, looks like Lestrek gonna get lifted. Han's gonna come in and do a ton of damage. Zoe focusing and dropping quite low. He wants Finra. Finra got another soul assumption. Drop it before he dies. Finra's gonna drop it on Chen instead. 1-for-1 trade. Shen's gonna drop his ultimate, but he's gonna get picked off as well. Another buyback coming in from Vici Gaming. 2-2's dropping low. So he's got the Midas. He's gone for. Sorry. For a second, I thought Choo-Choo's gone for the Midas, but that was a profit. FY is on the run, but he's only level 5. No Sakuchi just yet. Yep, that's gonna be. That's an ultra kill.
All these kills just getting picked up one by one. The buyback from Rubik, he dies twice as well.
He lost all.
And
could have had Arcane Beat.
The chase worked out perfectly because they end up at mid lane where there's a tower to be taken. So it's like, sweet, we'll kill you twice, and hey, there's this tower here just waiting to be taken. So only one tier 2 tower remaining. I imagine before they even go for it, they're going to go in for Roshan. Yep, they're already positioning around.
Again, I'm not really sure why they took that team fight for Vici Gaming. They lost your tier 2 tower, and then they decided to take a team fight, whereas they could have perhaps glyph and took a team fight with Han instantly, and then went from there. So 2 buyback spends, tier 2 bot and tier 1 mid, both win.
He hasn't got enough damage, so... And Timbersaw has to be there stalling the pushes.
Yes,
so you need Timbersaw stalling the pushes. You needed an anti-mage. If you have anti-mage, he's pushing lanes. But your actual carry hero and your offlaner aren't good counter pushes, and I think that's the big weakness with this Vici Gaming lineup.
Yeah, they push too slow as heroes damage-wise go. They're not really mobile. They're not really got good counter push. Guys, aside from Chakram, we saw Super trying to defend the tier 2 tower. Just got DK stunned and he got picked off. So
yeah. Where's the anti-mage? If this is an anti-mage, I think they're in a much better position right now.
I mean, I don't think anti-mage would have Battle Fury finish. Well, maybe he would have.
Yes, safe lane free farm.
Safe lane free farm, yeah. He's got it. He's got the first blood kill as well. So I don't know. Vici Gaming definitely not looking pretty good here so far. Point booster, that's going to get picked up by Timbersaw. So, well, that's some real HP. And here comes the defense.
Yeah, this is... They can stall for a long, long time, but the BKB on Dragon Knight, he's just going to pop the ultimate form, start chipping away. Zhou can do the same thing with an Aegis ultimate orb on himself. We'll be building towards that Linken's, and there's just... Most of these heroes... Sure, Visage and Rubik are fantastic supports, but they're not really able to offer a whole lot in this situation.
Yeah, I mean... Well, here comes the sun here on RTK. He's invised up, but there's no detection. Nothing just yet. Swarm's going to hit on FY. FY's dropping a little. Look at that Wrath of Nature and a couple more hits. Zhou is hitting so hard with that double damage right now, tier 2. That's going to be dead as
well. Yeah, they may just keep on pushing it. They've still got the Aegis and double damage room on Zhou, so they can at least do some damage to the tier 3 tower, and Chakram is the only thing really to stall this. There's no glyph, there's Leshrac Edict, Chen creeps to help tank, Chen has a mech still as well as Hand of God, he pops a mech, and this is Rax's. 16 minutes in the game, this is a Tongfu perfectly executed and well thought out draft.
Yeah, Super is trying to survive, but these Chen creeps, these 5, but that's going to be 1 kill. We have a drums coming in from Tutu, really want to kill on Shan Jump, but he just pops Hand of God. There's mech being activated as well, and in fact, it's Vici Gaming support heroes that are dying. RTK gets 1 kill. I think that's his first track kill of the game. XTT's going to die as well. Yes, nicely played. Good defense, but Tutu now getting focused down by 2 or 3 hero. Here comes RTK tracking people up, but Tutu's dead. RTK is trying to run any ensnare. No ensnare just yet, but they say, hey, everybody's dead. Let's just go for the racks.
Yeah, and Leshrac is making his way back down the middle lane. He's brought back. He wants to come get that Edict onto the racks, bring it down as fast as possible. And here's banned on this creep wave. There's a stun, a follow-up split earth, and this is the death of a Spectre who just brought back. Probably the death of Vici Gaming. I think we see a GG now. This was just such a crisp performance from Tongfu.
Well,
I don't know. It's just been fantastic. Vici Gaming is still trying to fight back here. They're going to try chase down Mu here. He hasn't got a BKB. If Super can get him, it'd be a fantastic little pickup here. Mu stun. No mana for a TP just yet. Get Intel Treads and TP. I guess he's tracked up, so he can't do that.
Yeah.
Not with the track on.
He's eventually going to die, but he's lost such a long time that Zhou, by the way, on the milling, was able to get a couple more kills. Got a little bit of
Dire team lost their courier as well. It's something very kind of small that happened, but it's a decent chunk of gold for the Radiant team. I think it was also bringing an item out.
it definitely wasn't small for Vici Gaming. They
Yeah.
need every bit of gold they can get. And I mean, critically, they defended the Raxus. It was pretty ugly, and I'm pretty sure Tongfu could do the exact same push in about 30 seconds or so once Dragon Knight is ready and go. So I feel like that's Vici Gaming is still in a very, very bad position. I mean, Super, he's buying item, but his item doesn't really make his hero more useful in terms of defending a push. Like Chakram will always still be a Chakram. Our TK is going to be irrelevant in terms of defending a push. They need to push out and find kills, which is exactly what they're doing right now.
Yeah, they're gonna try find the kills away from your base. So even if it backfires, then you're not gonna immediately lose Raxes. And DK Moot coming in towards the mid lane. This could be the target they want to go for here. RTK could track things up. Problem is there's supports immediately behind him, and tanky supports at that.
Liv tossing back, but he's got the BKB. Spirit's gonna miss, and Moot decides to fight his way out of this. I'm not sure whether he can, but he's still so tanky. Here comes the post-Nova damage. Well, looks like one kill is gonna go towards the Radiant side. 1-for-1 trade so far here. Moot dropping low here. 2-2 trying to desolate his way for a win. Yeah, Super double kill here so far. Pretty well played, but Timbersaw is gonna get picked off. XTT's dead as well. Still a very even trade. 2-2 is gonna try to TP out, but Zhou is just right there. Triple kill for Zhou.
Too strong.
Too strong indeed.
Well, Mr. Zhou, level 16 with a Lincoln Sphere at 18 minutes as well as treads and 2.7k gold. This is, like, he's almost got enough for a Desolator as well. Just 1,500 gold away from a Desolator, and this will be like a 20-21 minute Lincoln's Deso Weaver. That's impressive.
Yeah, well... Deso's what, 41-ish?
Yep, 41.
Yeah, so he's like halfway there. I think once the Deso, they get the Deso, they could just push. What does Vici Gaming look for a comeback? Are they just farming a Rayleigh?
Maybe they wait for the next Roshan if they want to be safe. But at most, with a Roshan before they push, this game maybe lasts another 6 or 7 minutes if Tongfu execute. Which until that was a very scrappy fight at mid lane, which was kind of what Vici Gaming wanted and needed. When you've got a Timbersaw, Bounty Hunter, you've got Soul Assumptions flying around, and the Spectre with his Spectral Dagger and Haunt ability. That's what Vici Gaming sort of played around. So if Tongfu execute and sort of avoid those kind of engagements and just stay as their 5-man unit, this Deathball army, they'll end the game with the next Aegis push.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, do you want to give Spectre another time to farm his relic? Because he's 2,400 gold. He's been dying a couple times, 3, 3, and 5. But it can be done. For example, all they really need is for Spectre to hunt into a track kill, and suddenly he's getting himself a ton of bonus gold.
Yeah, I don't see him getting Radiance before at least Aegis happens, or before the Roshan fight, if there is a fight over it. But maybe he'll have a relic, and if there is some track kills, and that's where Vici Gaming right now, if they say, hey, look, Roshan's respawning then, we want to have Radiance at least for when they're pushing, let's go get some smoke track kills now, let's try and make something happen. And there's some potential targets for them, especially like this Nature's Prophet, who's often going to be off on his own.
Yeah, he doesn't even have like a Shadow Blade or Force Staff completed. It seems like he's actually going for a Necrobook.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting build coming out
All
from
in
XTP.
push. And they're not even waiting for Aegis. I think they're confident that they can maybe get this mid Raxus just with a well-executed team fight.
Yeah, that's what they're going for. D-Ward a little bit. And move, not popping his Dragon Form, but soon he will. There you go.
Yep, he'll be on the front lines. Weaver with him. You can just attack away on these Raxes, and Gem gets bored as well. I like this Gem pickup. You can get rid of all these sentries, which are being used to scout him out, and also just makes it so much safer when dealing with it. Shikuchi still as well as the Bounty Hunter coming in, and there's just very little to stop this push. A nice telekinesis. Actually, stuns 3 or 4 heroes. Hand of God just being popped for security, and Super brought down. No Timbersaw, no defense. He's going to buy back to make sure that he can try and defend, but the Raxes already lost. Vici Gaming maybe going to try and chase here, but that's going to be a risky call. Timbersaw goes in, done a ton of AoE damage as a Spectre. Spectre now in the middle of things. He's got 3.4k gold, doesn't want to lose too much. DK, Chen, they both go down. Chen's already used all his heals, and Vici Gaming, despite losing a Rax, they're sort of fighting back here, but have they got an answer to Zhou? Zhou with a double damage on Weaver has picked himself up a kill, a beyond godlike streak on him, and he's just going to go for the Raxes here. 4 heroes dead for Vici Gaming, only Rubik left standing. And it was an okay defense mounted by Vici Gaming. They have an answer to almost everything, just not Zhou.
Yeah, I mean, Zhou was getting ultra kill earlier, a triple kill, and then another triple kill here. He's gotten way too much. He's got the Desolator finished. It's being delivered right now, and I just don't see Vici Gaming having the same items and, more importantly, same levels to deal with this.
Yep. Well, FY is going to do his bit. We haven't seen the FY magic on Rubik this game. Haven't seen what Super needed to do on the Timbersaw this game as well. And RO2K, he hasn't played a bad game by any means, but he's just hasn't found a single opening as Bounty Hunter.
I mean, at a game like this, it doesn't matter almost where you steal a couple spells and throw at them. They're just so far ahead in terms of item. And if you look at the gold graph, it says 15,000 goalie. Yeah, that generally
Yikes.
never happens.
Well, one of these two teams is looking a lot better to go into that loser bracket final tomorrow, where they verse the loser of IG and LGD. It's just kind of cool just to see where these Chinese teams will rank themselves moving on forward. I remember you asked. I put Vici Gaming fairly high. I thought they were number 2 after IG. They actually lost to IG, and I said, look, they lost to IG, but I think they're better than Tongfu and LGD maybe. But right now in this best of 1, the draft and just general team play coming out from Vici Gaming has not been up to the power of Tongfu.
Yeah, Tongfu not letting up the pressure. They're farming. They're going to be grouping and pushing as 5. Zhou yesterday had a 0-12-12 game or something like that on Spirit Breaker. This time playing a hero that perhaps is a little bit more confident with. 11-0-9 beyond Gala, getting multiple kills in these team fights.
The one reason I somewhat doubted Tongfu and had questions about whether they were strong or not now is because of ZSMJ. I think he was just like a bit past his time, but he's to me, he's the most impressive
the best player on their team right now.
I don't know if I could say best player, but he's been the most impressive based on my expectations. Like, he's exceeded my expectations the most. I'd say Mu is still playing amazingly. Like, Mu's, to me, maybe their best player, but that's what I expect. I know Mu is a fantastic solo mid player, like one of the best there is, and here he is even on a safe lane farmer, but ZSMJ has just been incredible, considering I think his past performances. On carry, he was a bit underwhelming. Support for Vici Gaming, he did okay, but he's playing really well with Tongfu.
Yeah, perhaps supporting, I guess, players that you could trust and rely on a lot. Zoe as well as Mu are people that you definitely want to do support. I know Tron said something about it, but forget that guy.
Yep, well, I've got new faith in this Tongfu lineup.
Yeah.
I remember thinking they were the one team that kind of got hard done by in the Chinese reshuffle. They were the one of the few teams who I felt got weaker, but not anymore. I take that back.
Regeneration.
Item checking wise, we do have 2-2 finishing that relic. I don't know, Tongfu, we're kind of casting as if Vici Gaming have no chance at this game, but once Radiant's up and they do repel the next push, the game could get tossed up in the air.
Yes. I agree. If ROTK can get a BKB so we can actually go in and engage. Not just engage, but get a couple tracks off. Not because the big worry, the thing that's preventing all these Radiant heroes from running into engage is DK stun. DK stun is basically a spammable roar. It is so strong in that range form, and it's deadly against if Timbersaw or Bounty Hunter gets caught by it in the front lines, they die because there's a less track follow-up stun, there's physical damage from Weaver as well as Nature's Prophet, and there's no way they can stand up against it. That's where having a BK, you get BKB even if the only stun and nuke on your opponent's team is a DK stun, you still need a BKB.
Just to block it. It's just so annoying for you to deal with. Here comes Chakram, just slow down this push, but Mood doesn't care. It looks like we do have a stolen Dragon Form. Yep, it is a Dragon Form, and Finrar are going to get focused. He doesn't have a Force or Gold Scepter. Splitup's going to miss as a result, and Finrar's going to be okay for now. Kuba being drawn back here, but Tower not being protected by anybody. Ooh, in fact, it was Weaver that came in and got killed. Joe dropping low, going to time left back. Here comes the Han, but how much is Han really going to do? That's one more kill. Bounty Hunter's buying back, but Super as well as FY being zoned back in. There's going to be tier 3 going down the back line here. Tier 3 racks being focused. Well, in fact, they're going to all move to the north, and he's going to be focusing on 2-2. He can't die here. He does. There goes the Radiance.
No Radiance gold, no buyback, nothing left for Vici Gaming. They've got the Timbersaw maybe trying to defend, but he's stunned up by Mu in the background. Mu going to get lifted up, and he can actually keep Super alive. Zhou with a Gemini attack. What a player, beyond god. Like, he is 14-0-9. Not just, I mean, incredible score on play, but he's been involved in 23 of these 27 kills.
Who has?
Zhou. Weaver.
Yeah.
It's like he's played really well and gotten all these kills, but he's coming to every single fight.
Actually, Weaver of late have been doing that quite a bit. We shared Joven doing that the other day. We saw How on his one road carry Weaver doing similar thing. So it feels like Weaver, if you want to be successful, kind of move around with your team, get kills, because when your teams drop their nukes, they can't really tower dive as effectively as Weaver can.
At what point do you feel this Vici Gaming draft went wrong? Because I feel like this was mostly a drafting loss for them. And they started off with the Rubik Visage pick, which I think is fine, but then something happened that
I think the Bounty Hunter pick really didn't do much.
Yeah.
You saw him during the mid game, he was basically walking around tracking people up. But once the push came, they had Chakram, which was okay, but they didn't have enough for the Prophet and Chen. And I guess Tongfu just methodically pushed down one tower after another. And then once you have pushed down 3 or 4 tower above your enemy, you just have way too much gold for them to stop. So
if they got like the puck for super and just had ROTK and an offlane Timber,
Sure,
so I think they
that's
would have
fine.
had a lot more firepower and a lot more
Puck
options.
was banned out though, so you have to had something else. I don't know what that's something else, but RTK's drafting has not been impressive or winning games.
Yeah, it's been hit. Every now and then there'll be like a time where we pull out an Elder Titan just at the right time and make a lot happen with it. But this game, not the best. He was actually drafting back when he was playing with DK for a lot of the time there, but he's got.
Explains why he's not drafting there anymore, or playing there anymore.
He's got time. This is a new roster for a lot of these Chinese teams, so we're going to be seeing a lot of fluctuation in results, a lot of just teams beating, like it's like some rock paper scissors action where one team will beat another, and there's not really a clear hierarchy of teams. But for now, it's Tongfu who have proven that they are better than Vici Gaming, at least in this game, and they will advance in the SinaCup. They'll be getting in the top 3 where they verse the loser of IG and LGD, which is their winner bracket final. That's the end of SinaCup for today, though. Those matches will be not for another couple of days. We've got 2 days with no SinaCup action. When we come back, it will be on Saturday early morning for us, Saturday night for you guys, and that'll be. What's today? I don't even know.
Today's Thursday.
Thursday
We
morning.
have Friday and Saturday off.
So we have
That's what you said.
Thursday. We have Thursday night and today's Thursday, so we have Thursday night off, which is like Friday morning. So we have Friday morning, Saturday morning off. Okay, so we're back Sunday morning. Sunday morning we'll have the winner bracket final and the loser bracket final, so 2 best of 3s. IG versus LGD, then the loser of that will verse.
Is it a best of 5 for the
Tongfu.
grand final?
I think best of 5 grand final, best of 3 winner bracket, loser bracket,
Cool.
semi-final. So grand final will be the day after. So that'll conclude the SinaCup. We've got 2 more days of that. That's in the future. Big thanks everyone for tuning in today. But we're actually not done. We have We Play Dota 2 action starting in about 25 minutes. We'll have 2 best of 2 series. Well, not really best of 2. 2 game series there in Group
So
A.
yesterday we had a series that was postponed. Is that now
No.
we're going to be seeing it? Or
That
just-
game is not till later this week.
Definitely-
Friday, Saturday, sometime in the future.
I want to see some Kaipi action.
I know Next KZ are playing today, as is Team Cascade. Let's look at what we've got. We've got Virtus Pro versus Cascade and the Mouse East. The Mouse mix.
Mouse.
Oh, they're versing Next KZ.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow
Cool.
we get Kaipi.
All right.
So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back in about 15 minutes' time. There's the schedule up on the screen. And that's what we'll be having in store. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back in about 2 minutes' time. Well, sorry, 2 minutes' time, 20 minutes' time with your We Play Dota 2 action.